Did it all work out how you thought it would?
Well, I picked 3 of the teams. Nobody had Wichita State, right? So, but I did actually get Syracuse, Louisville, and Michigan.
Right.
I felt like the Big East championship game. I really felt like, and Michigan, in addition to those 2 teams, but I felt like Syracuse and Louisville were really playing the best at this time, and that's what it's all about. I mean, it's a long season, and I think we talked about last time Pitino kind of managing his team almost like a horse race, and kind of. So I think they peaked at the right time. I think Syracuse, I was very interested to see if they could bounce back from that game. I thought they would, and they have. I actually see them with a rematch Monday night. I think that matchups are everything, and I think Wichita State, as balanced as they are and as well as they're playing, I think Louisville is just a tough matchup. I could see that game, Louisville winning that game by 15 or so. It wouldn't surprise me if Wichita State made it close because they're just playing so incredibly well and they're balanced. But Louisville, they're really motivated, especially with the kid that'll be with them on the sideline.
Yeah.
And I just I think Pitino is just so tough. I mean, he knows when to control the tempo and bring it up and bring it down. And I just have a gut feeling that Louisville's going to get through that game. And I think that Michigan, Syracuse. I love Michigan. I mentioned to you that I love Coach Beeline. I think he's excellent.
Yeah.
But I think that watching what Syracuse did to Marquette and taking away their guards, in particular the kid Vander Blue, that Syracuse zone right now is playing as well. And Boeheim said it's playing probably the best that he's ever had.
Wow.
And that says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they're just so I think the key matchup in that game is going to be the point guard Burke and how he does against the Syracuse zone. And I think that they're going to and by the way, I think he's a tremendous NBA prospect. I really, really like his game, but I think that he I think again, just as far as the matchup, it's a tough matchup for him with that zone on the perimeter.
Yeah.
And I think that Syracuse has of the 4 teams, I think Syracuse has the most amount of NBA prospects. When you look at the point guard Carter Williams,
okay.
I personally think he needs to develop his body and his shot mechanics and his free throw shooting. But there's a lot of NBA people that project him in the lottery.
Okay.
James Sutherland has obviously proved that he is an NBA player, the way he shot the ball, and I think people don't realize how athletic he is and how long he is, and the impact that he has on the defensive side of the floor. And then C.J. Fair, when he's playing well, I mean, he's a beast. I mean, when he's on, he's tough to stop.
Yeah.
So you look at those guys, and Syracuse to me has the most NBA talent. So I see them getting past Michigan, and then I see Syracuse and Louisville Monday night.
Okay.
And I think that I was at the Big East championship game, and Syracuse was up 20 in that game.
Right.
Syracuse was up 20, and then they lost by 20, which you never see that. But they did a few things that they're going to need to fix. In my view, Pitino just absolutely killed Boeheim in that game. Syracuse has the ball, end of the half, up 15, no shot clock, and they turn it over. And Louisville comes down and gets a basket end of half to cut it to 13.
Yeah.
And it was a psychological situation. Louisville came out in the second half and really blew them out. But those are the little things that Syracuse needs to clean up. End of half, end of game execution.
Yeah.
Louisville takes the lead, 49-48 for the first time. In fact, Patino in that run called a back screen lob for the kid Kevin Ware, and he had a huge dunk.
Right.
And it really fired up the Louisville fans. And Syracuse comes back down the court and does nothing.
Yeah.
And at that minute, you got to dial up a similar play if you're Boeheim to get the momentum back.
Yeah.
Throw the ball to the top of the backboard. I don't care if the guy makes the dunk or not. Just let me see somebody go to the top of the backboard to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't punch back, and they have to do that. And they have to figure out how to beat the pressure. I mean, they didn't adjust. Louisville didn't really press in the first half. In the second half, they came out full court.
Yeah.
And, little adjustment. Maybe let Trish handle the ball in the backcourt. Just little things that I think if they can make a few adjustments. I actually thought Syracuse was the better team in that Big East championship. So netting it all out, I see Syracuse and Louisville in a rematch. I think if it's close, Louisville has the edge just in terms of end of game execution.
Yeah.
But I think if Syracuse does what they need to do, Syracuse could beat Louisville by 10, 12 points.
Yeah.
And remains to be seen, but that's how I would handicap the weekend.